Hey everyone, it's me again, Nicole, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about this book, The Enlightenment of the World. I already probably brought it up on one of my other videos from like years ago, but I don't really think I ever made a full video about it. So of course, I'll link it in the description, and I'm also going to show it during this video. It was written by this guy called John G. Abizaid. He originally first wrote the book in Arabic and he translated it into English. He says here that everything in the book is true. It's not guesswork. You'll find good foundation of belief, good ideas, and absolute proofs. You don't need to accept it merely on faith, but you can see it with your own eyes and feel it with your own bodies. Thus you may know it is the truth, and as long as you have the eyes to see and a body to feel and a brain to think with, use them and you will know the facts. Then he goes on and talks about Christians and the Bible and a lot of the other stuff that we already know about. He has 3 chapters in the book. The first chapter is about the water. It's called About the Water. Second chapter about the land. And third chapter about the sun, moon, and stars. And I'm just gonna like skim through the book for you guys on the screen and kind of pause at the interesting parts. Here you could see it's Asia, Europe, and America, showing the sunrise, the moon, and the sunset. These 2 proofs on the screen here show that first, that the sun is very high, and the second shows that the sun is smaller than the earth, for if it is larger than the earth, the people in Europe would see the sun above their heads, while the people in America would see it above their heads, and both at the same time. Here's a little explanation of the chart. The Indian is looking at the proof of the parasol. He compares the sun with the parasol by saying that if the parasol were large enough, I could see it here above my head too. Also the same with the sun. If it were large enough, it could cover the earth, and the people, no matter where they were located, could see it at the same time above their heads. And then I also found this article. This was something new I haven't seen yet, so I thought it was pretty interesting. I'll also put this down in the description for you guys. It's about Professor John Abizaid with his sun and moon dial. You could see a photograph of him here. He has quite the funny mustache, I'll say so myself. It's rather large. I think that was the style back then. What's interesting about this article though is it's saying the lunar eclipse actually once each month. I was reading through this and he goes on to say that the lunar eclipse, according to the astronomers, was scheduled for the 15th of July, the first total eclipse of the moon in this section since 1927. The real lunar eclipse, however, according to the professor, began last Friday evening and it has been continuing all this week. It will become total Saturday night and will continue its totality until August 3rd. Furthermore, says the professor, that there is no need to get steamed up about lunar eclipse because instead of coming at rare intervals over a period of years, as some so-called astronomers, again according to the professor, would have us believe, it actually comes once each month. The moon disappears nearly a week each month, he says. It moves in the same direction as the sun, and it is the rays of the sun which cause the moon to disappear. The sun always moves faster than the moon, and the sun overtakes and goes ahead of the moon once every month while going in the westerly direction since Adam and Eve, but no one but himself discovered that fact until he hit upon it August 31st, 1932. So this is kind of weird. I'm guessing he's talking about the fact that he thinks the eclipse is happening actually every month, and it's actually silly that we make such a big deal out of the eclipses because they're way more common than we're told. There has to be some sort of dark body in the sky. I'm not sure if he even mentions that or if this article wanted to mention that. I don't think it did because I read through the whole thing. Another part of it that I wanted to mention was the hub of this earth, the professor will tell you, is the North Pole. His book contains a large map colored in black and white and red, illustrating his idea of the layout of the world. It is divided into 5 zones, moving outwards in ever-expanding circles until it reaches the last zone, the South Circle. Here the book says, it is dark and icy, and no one can ever cross the circle because it is the edge of the earth and is dangerous to life. At the bottom here it says, to illustrate his principle on the flat earth, he invented 2 little instruments, one a disc which he calls his sun and moon dial, and the other a little wooden rectangular piece of wood, faced with brass and marked off like a 6-inch rule. Wayfinder, he calls it. He had 3 inscribed with the name of Governor Curley, Admiral Byrd, and Professor Walters of Harvard. So I'm guessing he was going to give it to them. I don't know. It's amazing to me that there's all these testimonials in the back of the book. That's kind of the part that I wanted to focus on here, because in my last video I did talk about how there's a lot of people who would constantly be writing into, whether it was newspapers or professors, people were writing into Harvard University to speak with people about the flat earth. A lot of flat earth talk was going on in Boston, Massachusetts. All these people read this manuscript, and a lot of the people could not disprove it. They were very open to this information, and it wasn't something that was completely shut down as it is in today's world. I feel like the programming has gotten so much heavier. We are just shown the globe at such a young age, and it's really plastered into our minds that we are spinning in space. It's just ridiculous when there's no proof of this whatsoever. Definitely check out the testimonials in the back. I'm going to read you one of my favorite reading. Your book, The Enlightenment of the World, is before me. Using the flag of the United States of America is a good plan. Proper words in proper places may lead us right. Water of the ocean is straight at its surface in long distances. Water flows from high to lower grades. May you go ahead and win great success in helping to overthrow one of the great delusions made by men of education. The sun is of less size than the earth. Were it not so, the rays of the sun would shine vertical upon all parts of the earth on the side of the earth toward the sun. During a number of years, I have known of the globe earth delusion being a failure. Prove it over and over again to increase the great army in favor of the flat earth facts. Honest doubters need education in flat earthism until they are wise and know that they know. Prove it in the most easy ways to reach as many as you can of thinking and knowing wise people. Respectfully, Orrin F. Hill, an architect. This was a testimony from someone by the Academy for Science in New York, New York. Dear Mr. John G. Abizaid, dear sir, I have heard so much about your book, I decided to procure a copy and found it full of interesting reading. The subject is a good one, and with the aid of your book, it makes wonderfully plain. It is true that everything above the earth moves, the clouds, the sun, etc., and that the earth is motionless. I am distributing your copy among my friends and hoping for good results. Wishing you every success. I remain yours truly, William J. Hutchinson. So definitely go check out, I'll stop crimpling papers. So yeah, definitely go check out the book below, read the whole thing, and share it with your friends, just like people were doing over 100 years ago. Believe it or not, this is proof that people were sharing the flat earth with people they knew, sharing it around the world, trying to enlighten the world, just as we're still trying to do now. It's quite crazy. I'll admit it. I never thought I would be here doing this, but here we are. I found out I was lied to, and the least thing I could do is try to help everyone else realize the same fucking thing, because it's bullshit. It's really fucking bullshit when you realize the facts of this earth, and when you could see it with your own eyes, when you could feel it for yourself and not have to trust people in the lab coats. You don't have to worship scientists. You don't have to blindly believe in their theories. Don't have to believe in gravity when you can't prove it. Can't see it. Can't do anything about it. Neil deGrasse Tyson said for himself.
What is gravity?
I have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We
Okay.
can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know. To say what is it, I think Einstein, in an Einsteinian answer, we would say gravity is the curvature of space and time, and objects will follow the curvature of space time, and we interpret that as a force of gravity. That's probably the best answer I can give to a what is gravity question, or
Okay.
why is there gravity. That's the best I can do there. I think that's a good start.
He can't really tell you what it is. This is the religion that we were taught. It's deluded, to say the least, to think that we're spinning based on what literal psychopaths told us 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago. We're still listening to this shit. So yeah, keep the truth going. Don't let them fool you. The earth is flat. It's always been. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out and helps spread the word of the flat earth. So thank you. See you in the next one.